What's up, y'all? I'm here to talk about all the cool buffs and changes for the Quaquaval line in my ROM hack, Scrambled Scarlet. If you don't know anything about what this ROM hack is, if you have no clue what you're even looking at, what all these moves are, what all this information is, I highly recommend you look at the description down below. There is a link to a playlist where I explain all of the ideas about what the ROM hack is and how it's going to be balanced. Down below in the description, it's super in-depth, so you can give those videos a look if that interests you. Obviously, listen to this video first, maybe, or at least finish this video after. But and because that kills watch time and it sucks for the algorithm. But regardless, um, yeah, give that a look in the description. I also have a Discord server you can join for a lot more information in there as well. Um, but yeah, there's a Google Sheet link down below in the description as well. You can scroll and look at everything for yourself. Um, you can go. There's like a giant move guide. It's got a whole table of contents, videos and uh, the changes and move guide. Move guide especially is probably the most important thing I would say, besides the Pokemon changes, obviously. Very important to look at all the new move categories and whatnot. Excuse me, I'm a little bit sick still if I sound, if I'm like clearing my throat a lot, but yeah. As for the actual choices itself, I want to explain the flavor first. So, I mean, obviously they already had Moxie. I don't need to explain that. Drizzle. Drizzle is because they are well, first of all, I try to, actually, I don't try. I do put a lot of effort into um, making sure that Pokemon of the same type combination don't have overlap in their abilities. And in this hack, Pokemon have 3 abilities they can choose from at any time. So that means I have 3 abilities I have to basically balance around one another, and there's a good amount of water fighting types. So I was a bit limited in my choices. It was either this or Water Absorb, and Drizzle is obviously much better. And then as for why it fits, I mean, I think it fits because it's like kind of like he's rain dancing, right? Like he's literally a dancer. So I think this like dancing flamboyant duck can like summon the rain with his rain dance. Like he's just constantly rain dancing. Like he just rain dances when he switches in. I think that's the cool logic for it. Is that he rain dances when he switches in. So that's the logic for Drizzle. And then the pre-evolutions, the Pokedex does describe Quaxley. I believe is a quick swimmer, like a good swimmer. Um, Not Quaxwell, but you can assume the same applies for Quaxwell. And I kind of also just like the idea that they have rain abilities, like Swift Swim turns into Drizzle, especially because like Swift Swim is actually pretty useful, especially earlier on in the game on them. Um, Definitely worth using over Moxie for sure, and even Torrent has tons of use cases with like Endure into like Liquidation or whatever, or just a strong move like Aqua Cutter, Aqua Tail, whatever it is. Um, Aqua Jet, all that fun stuff. Because Moxie is more of a snowball type ability, while Torrent gives you an immediate damage boost, which is a lot more useful in a lot of cases. And then obviously, Quaquaval has Elegance, which is a very fitting ability that comes from Queenly Majesty, so it makes him immune to priority. There is a big list of new priority moves that you can click again on the move sheet and look at all of them. They won't be as common on the AI because the AI doesn't know how to abuse them as well as a real player can, but there's also tons of powerful signature priority moves as well that you can will eventually see. Um, so that's that for the ability choice. I think they all make really good sense, and obviously Moxie's great. Aquastep is level 50, and also you might have been eyeing some like competitively minded people are going to be eyeing that Victory Dance at 100. So if you look at the level caps, you can see at what points Pokemon will get certain moves. So everything after the 18th boss fight, again, there were 5 different versions of this game, right? Only 4 fit on the cropping, the way I have it cropped. There's another path, there's a 5th path. Yeah, so after the 18th boss fight, everything is level 100, so you'll have Victory Dance for as an option for all of these boss fights here on the bottom. So that's still a very, I mean, that's what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 bosses you'll have Victory Dance for, so that's still a very good amount of bosses. And the reason I have them at level 100, again, you have rare candies and stuff, so don't worry about the leveling. And also, all Pokemon have their experience gain set to 1, so you don't have to worry about level caps. In terms of like over leveling, it's never going to happen. That's why the level caps can be so close together. And I like to have the game have more of a sense of progression. But regardless, getting off topic, stat-wise, I saw more HP on him because he is pretty tall, and I don't see him being much stronger physically or much faster than like 90 or 95 base speed personally. And I try to keep all my buffs like logical. Like I like to make them fit actual Pokemon, not just throw random stats around for no reason. So he's a bit bulkier overall. I mean, he's a good amount bulkier, which is helpful, especially when you're running like defensive sets, which you will be running, especially if you're playing as intended on Teamlocked. You know, you're going to need to think outside of the box and use your Pokemon in ways you wouldn't otherwise expect them to be used. So the bulk is definitely very useful. You have tons of utility as well. Pivot moves like Flip Turn and U-Turn and Baton Pass. Baton Pass being, you know, negative priority now, like Teleport, so you could use that as like a negative priority switch move if you need to for whatever reason. Again, you have infinite movie linear, so the options are very, very versatile. You can switch your sets around constantly. You have instant EVs, abilities, capsules to switch your abilities at any point. It's very, very, very good. Yeah, you have utility like Feather Ball and Feather Dance, which drop. Feather Dance drops attack by 2, and then um, Feather Ball is a 70 base power special move, drops attacking stats by 1. You've got, you know, other dropping moves as well. You've got good coverage early on, like Hoodwink at 13, and you know, some fighting stuff early on as well. Flying moves early on. Tons of useful TMs like Encore. I'm not gonna go over. I mean, Chilling Water is the same thing as Feather Ball, but Stab, and you have and Disarming Voice as well. Also, all 3 of those will do that effect. I'm not going to cover every single little nitty-gritty option, but the main thing is, well, you get Hydro Cannon Evolution, which is now Water-type Draco Meteor. So despite only having, quote-unquote, only having 85 special attack, with that infinite movie learner and, you know, item clause and all these other rules put into play, having access to a strong 140 base power nuke at level 36 is very, very useful on Quaquaval, and I think it's pretty cool because it makes Drizzle a lot more useful on special sets for earlier on in the game. Especially if you got like a plus special attack nature, then it's even more powerful. But even without plus special attack, it's still a very good move to, you know, KO something in some boss fights. And then you've got good coverage, you know, tons of coverage like Megaton Kick, Brave Burst, Stomping Tangent, Burst Impression, Lunge, Play Rough, Grass Knot, which is not physical. You know, like all the coverage you'll really ever need. Not like anything too crazy or too versatile, but again, he doesn't need too much, and a lot of coverage doesn't really fit him. Like his design or his, you know, what type of Pokemon he is. Yeah, you got Revelation Dance earlier on too to encourage special sets a bit more. Although, I mean, it's just a 90 base power water move, but with a 50% chance to boost special attack, which isn't actually that good in the context of a Nuzlocke unless it's a guaranteed effect. If it's 50% chance, it may as well be 0 for Nuzlocking purposes, which is what the game is balanced around, Teamlocked specifically. So I think I've covered like almost everything I would like to. I mean, you got like Hydro Assault at level 45. Again, that Aqua Step at 50 is crazy with Moxie, obviously. Victory Dance is obviously also very good, although Swords Dance is definitely better in some context still because of the immediate boost. Keep in mind that Swords Dance and Victory Dance and all these setup moves do have -1 priority now, so that way you can't Quick Claw setup move versus like the taunt lead on the AI, but I feel like it's still going to end up being relatively cheesy setup because of Infinite Move Learner giving you so much flexibility with your moves. So I'll have to see, you know, after a month or two of even a couple weeks of the game being out, we'll test it out and feel it out. And if it's broken, then I'll just add an optional rule to ban setup. It's not that deep. And if you want to use it, you can. Same with all the other optional rules. It's all optional. But yeah, powerful moves like Hydro Assault, which is water type, physical Draco Meteor. Obviously, Wave Crash is Wave Crash. You've got stuff like even like Shell Bell though to offset that recoil, so you could use like Wave Crash plus Takedown, which are both recoil moves, and then use Shell Bell with Aqua Step and outspeed things and heal yourself, so you don't kill yourself with the recoil. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, Hydro Assault is great. It's not as good for sweeping, like with Moxie, but it's very good with Drizzle, because that's just a very strong nuke, which again has its place. Not only does Drizzle give you that immediate 50% boost, but it also, yeah, excuse me, it also gives you the ability to have team support. You know, activate, you know, ally weather balls or decrease fire moves, or the more obvious things like you know, activating abilities like other Swift Swim Pokemon and stuff like that. So Drizzle is very good for that as well. And then obviously Elegance is one of those abilities that you will just switch to when you need it. That's the beauty of having 3 slots, is that you can have immunity abilities and stuff and just switch to them when you need it. Again, if you have Quaquaval on your team the whole game, on Teamlocked, whatever, every once in a while you'll need to switch to Elegance because, you know, you'll see a priority move on the AI or whatever and you want to be immune to it and cheese it. So that's the use of Elegance there. That's about it. I think I've covered pretty much everything I would like to cover. Yeah, again, bulky sets with like Roost and debuffing moves early on, and in general, I mean, even like endgame, you can run, you know, like Roost, Baton Pass, Shadow Dam, you know, whatever it is. You have so much Chilling Water, you have so much flexibility with these types of Pokemon in this game with Movie Winner. You can run so many cool different things. But yeah, I encourage you to check it out down below. If you listened this far into the video, drop a comment. Let me know if you did. Join my Discord, and I'll be back for more. Peace.